Be wise and fearless. Don't be wicked and careless. No fast and them fruitful when them fearless. No fat chat about them kind when them cheerless. Them love to crack bone and tear flesh. Politicians left the youth them in a beer rest. They're not helping the people who face their stress. Them still telling lies about them trying their best.
Welcome YouTube, it's your host A-Maverick and you tune in to AM Spiritual. Over here make you see through spiritual lenses. Now, an incident took place last week where 14-year-old Anna-Shay, I believe is her name, Anna-Shay Campbell, would have lost her life, right? And we just want to give an insight on it. So, in other words, some spiritual insight, because for too long we would have heard cases of this going on in the hospitals, and it seems like it's only getting worse. But no, we're living in a time of social media where everything gonna go social media. So I guess this is why this pops up more so around this time, right? No, before I say anything, I'm just gonna let the mother of the child speak and see if you can pick up something what's going on. Okay?
She's young and she's tiny. We
How old
understand
is she?
that she's 14.
Yes.
And she shouldn't get pregnant, but she don't get pregnant. Me bring her out here because her due date at the 10th, which is Monday. Don't know say Monday doctor strike. And when me bring her, then tell me say doctor strike. Me say beg you no a referral. Then say no make sense. Me say if I even want experienced nurse must up at Jubilee, then make me carry her home back. When me carry her home, she dip on her knee like dog, and me carry her back out here. And when me go in there, then frown up on her. Pretty little girl, you know, and then shake their heads and go so. And she na here go. So me sign up for she get cut, cause I got cut with her. And me at 28 when me have her. So if she at 14, she could bear it. Now then call me and tell me say, my daughter go through a very, very long, hard labor. And my daughter dead. Yeah? My daughter, why you never cut her? Cut her.
Yeah, this is, that's hard to watch, especially if you're related in any form or shape toward this young miss that would have lost her life. However, I'm gonna give an insight because for too long, the hospital is lacking hospitality, is more like hostility they displayed, especially to young females. No, I find some level of hypocrisy within this. Why? Because in the next week or two, it would quote unquote be Christmas, right? And how Christmas aligns with this, you might ask. Just in case you didn't know, for the ones them that actually listening, since it's claimed to be the birth of Christ, did you know that Mary was roughly about this age when she gave birth to Christ? Did you know that? So when the mother gonna state that, oh, she knows she's 14, but it's a mistake and so forth and the whole 9 yard. No, it's not really a mistake. A child come into play, that's just how it is. You don't know what purpose that child would have come serve. And I find the real hypocrisy in this, and how ironic it be where a A 14-year-old would have lost their life along with her. I don't know if the child has passed, but I believe that's unconfirmed, so you cannot quote me on that. But I believe the child also passed as well. No, check this out. One thing you need to learn from this: the same Christmas that you're gonna celebrate within a week time or two, just know that it was a teenager that gave birth to Christ, right? So the mindset that the system has placed in these doctors and nurses to believe that a young female should just be treated accordingly, it's coming all the way back from then. And they set it, you have to understand, it's systematic in a way that because many of them would have lost their fertile years due to studying and university and college, especially for doctors. Now they know envy or have a resentment or bitterness to females that actually utilizing their their fertile years. No, this is not me saying no that children should go ahead and just bring forth child in this society that we're living in, right? But nonetheless, it happens, as the mother rightfully pointed out. There should be no resentment towards this child. Secondly, what happened to love? What happened to compassion? The mother stated that they were striking the Monday, and her due date was the Tuesday, the 10th. So Monday would have been the 9th, Tuesday would have been the 10th. And doctors and nurses were striking. Striking over what? Over what? So you mean to tell me, say, your strike is more beneficial to helping someone that's clearly in an emergency? This means you're really not serving your purpose as a doctor and nurse, because whatever issue you are having, you should be able to put that aside or even use it to motivate you to actually carry out your duty, right? What happened to this? On your screen, you would have a quote from the Bible, right? It says, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." What that mean? Their all crooked intentions that they have to strike for whatever benefit they are striking for. I'm sure they're not striking for anything of purpose to that. More than likely it would be they are striking for some form of financial gains as usual, right? That is more important to them than the life of a young one. Also, the thing is, the mother even said they frown at the young woman or the young girl, the teenage, I should put it, right? Frown. This is a common thing going on where many females I would have heard talk, and we would have had conversations when they were young and giving birth to their child, that they stated they get the worst treatment, especially if they see that the family support is not there, mainly from the father, right? They would be like, oh, it's all a stigma. There's a stigma attached to young females giving birth when it should not be so. And the reason why I bring up Mary giving birth to Christ. If it was today's society Christ should born, perhaps this would have reached if God don't intervene. Perhaps this would have happened where both Mary and Christ gone. This is to show you how limited they think, right? How limited and wicked people be and lacking love and compassion. And I saw it and I did have to state that, hey, I'm gonna shed some light on this, especially it's just around the time of quote unquote Christmas. And we all know how that goes already, which many have come to the realization that, hey, this time is not really so Christmas, but they work with the flow, right? I might have to go into that a bit more in another video. But anyways, one comment did stood out, right? And this is what it said on your screen. It stated, "What a worthless mama. How you that should be protecting her and being a guardian allow your 14 years old daughter to get pregnant, then a ball upon TV about you want justice. You forgot prison under the law. She's a child. The age of consent is 16, wretch. Mm-mm. You have the heart fear ball when you was a careless mama. Clearly, her body was not developed fully. That was why she could not push out the child, because she's still a child, not an adult. Where is the parental guidance who wasn't watching her? Which man breed her? All of you should go to prison for child neglect. Both you want Dr. Cotard, kiss me teeth, big careless dirty mama." No, that was somewhat hard to read, and in terms of the mere ignorance of this person. This is why I did have to even mention before the Mary situation, because I guess Mary parents would have been careless, right? And a workless mama, right? When she gave birth to Christ, right? Or got pregnant with Christ, right? And these same people coming Sunday or coming Tuesday gonna be celebrating Christmas and sing jingle bells. This is to show you how cruel and lack of compassion people have, to the mere fact this is a comment that's, as you can see, it's mere ignorance. Who tell her that is a man impregnate this young miss? Who tell this commenter or commentator that it was a man? It could be our age group. It could be a 15-year-old male, could be a 16-year-old male. But to show you how people don't analyze things, they talk, right? And this is the whole issue on the matter. Hence why I stated I have to shed some light on it. This is just mere ignorance. The hospitals overall need to get it together. The hospitals is lacking real hospitality. Is a reason why it named hospital. It's like they forgot the meaning of the word hospitality. There's no love. It's more like hostility. You're looking at the patients like an enemy. It can't be that way. It can't be that way. Know what? You have a blood on your shoulder. You have a blood on your hands. all because of ignorance and spiritual immaturity. And these people have them degree, you know. These people are the same peoples boast with their degrees and PhDs and stated how they're intellectual because they are doctors and nurses, but do stupid things like this or foolishness like this. So you see where degrees not adding up with their level of intelligence. It's not displaying their level of intelligence. So it seems to be that the dunce culture even get more prevalent into the upper echelons to the people them who claim to go university. Intelligent dunce or educated dunce they be, rather. Educated dunce. The lesson to learn from this: if Christ should have born in this day and age, things like this would have happened. Things like this would have happened. He probably wouldn't get to born. Probably would have to born again. It doesn't make sense. But all I can say, we need to go back to the times where we just invite midwives and nurses to our home and we have child the right way, children the right way, right? Because many people don't know to lie down on your back and push out a child is actually more damaging. It's ineffective than anything else. Hence why the system do this. It's damaging the mothers, giving them complications, so it's possible they only can have one and two children, in other words. This is why most women after pregnancy have back problem, all kind of problem, because it's the posture that they take to bring forth the child. For anyone that actually listening this as a female and about to give birth, always remember this: the proper way to give birth is actually in a similar posture like when you're using your bathroom or your toilet. That's how you should push out your child. And this will save a lot of complications also, that the mother complained that she was in hard labor. The proper, for example, this is reason why they call it birthing stool. Let me get on a edified. Look at the screen. This is a picture of a birthing stool where the person, the mother, would have sit down on it and push the child, and that slot there in the middle, the child will come through easily, and you have a handmaid or midwife or nurse catching the child, or something underneath catching the child if that more comfortable. That is how it go, or it should go. Don't get it? You might a bit too young to understand. Let me show you another one. This is also another example of a birthing stool. This is what should be using. Notice the opening under, that is where the child will come through. Just like a toilet structure or form, right? So this one is with the back brace. This one probably be more for the classier people who have it, to get one like this where it has more support. Hand brace, back brace, to show you. Also, you have this one, similar. If you don't get the picture, you perhaps would get this one. right? This is an example of how females would have birth back then in ancient times or biblical times, right? Not clear enough? Notice you have the midwife there, and you have another midwife or nurse or handmaid supporting. Meanwhile, behind the pregnant female, meanwhile, you have one underneath to catch, right? What about this one? So, people, be edified. Let us be more knowledgeable and start to give birth in a more traditional manner. We all talk about traditions, right? Let's go back to our roots. Then, in terms of tradition, let we start adapt these lifestyle, because what happened is that it's not gonna get any better, because the hospitals were actually set up by the system to do just what happened to this 14-year-old, to Anna-Shay Campbell. Cool? So with that, we just want to say until next time, this is where we're going to leave off. Until next time, it's your host, A-Maverick. I'm spiritual. You tune in to AM Spiritual. Be spiritual. I'm out.